Looking at the brand new chairman of the Federal Reserve, the Senate just confirmed Kevin Warsh to lead the Fed for the next 4 years. The final vote was 54-45, with one senator not voting. The only Democrat to support Warsh was Senator John Fetterman of Pennsylvania. So no matter how you look at this, Kevin Warsh has his work cut out for him. The U.S. economy is facing some really big problems. I've been telling you over the last few days about some very concerning inflation reports we've been seeing. The fact is, inflation is going in the absolute wrong direction. And typically when inflation is going up, the Federal Reserve at least thinks about raising interest rates. But we all know that President Trump wants the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates. During his confirmation hearing, Kevin Warsh said he too was open to the idea of cutting interest rates, but that was before this week's troubling inflation report. So what will he do? Will he follow Trump's lead and cut rates, or will he hold them steady, or maybe even will he consider increasing interest rates to try and stop the bleeding of this inflation? I just talked to the president of the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago about Warsh and whether the Federal Reserve can stay independent under his leadership. What do you expect?
All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. All right, and that is to say in the Paleo Hebrew, Yahweh, which is the name of our Heavenly Father, meaning He is. Bahashem, which is to say in the Paleo Hebrew, in the name, Yahweh Shai, which is also to say in the Paleo Hebrew, meaning He is our salvation, our deliverer, okay? And that is who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, a so-called black man, who, by the way, only, and I repeat, only came for the Israelites, all right? Now, just jumping straight to it, okay? What we saw from the video is the new, the new Fed chair to replace Jerome Powell, okay? And just getting to it, I went into it and I Googled, is this guy Kevin Warsh pro-crypto? Because this is the next phase that they're getting ready to direct this thing into what? Cryptocurrency. So all that inflation and all that shit, you can kill that. You can squash that. They're going to do away with that when they roll out this CBDC or stablecoin or whatever form of digital currency that they're coming out with under this new guy, Kevin Warsh, in the next 4 years. In my opinion, just speaking as a man, it may not even take 4 years, okay? Because they're going to expedite this thing and roll it out quicker with some type of crisis, some type of black swan event or something, okay? So as stated earlier, I typed in this in the Google search bar is Kevin Warsh, the new Fed chair to replace Jerome Powell, pro-crypto. And peep this. The AI overview came up with Kevin Warsh is widely considered the most pro-crypto leader in the history of the Federal Reserve. This isn't by no sheer coincidence that they chose this person. No, they chose him because they're putting their ducks in a line and they're getting ready to put this thing into play. All right, because why? This devil, Esau Edom, the so-called self-proclaimed white man, is getting ready to make his move. Because why? His time is short. He knows he has but what? A short time. That window is closing steadily on his opportunity to roll this out. So now they're putting all their ducks in a row and they're getting ready to go for broke. Okay, because why? Who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, whose name in the Paleo Hebrew is Yahweh Shai, is getting ready to return and spoil all their ventures. Okay? So it says Kevin Warsh is widely considered the most pro-crypto leader in the history of the Federal Reserve. He is the first Fed chair to personally hold Bitcoin and disclose over $100 million in digital asset-related investments. So you see where it's headed. You see where they're guiding this ship to. The crypto world under this new proactive crypto, what does it say? Leader in history, Federal Reserve Chair Kevin Warsh. It says he has held Bitcoin and disclosed over $100 million in digital asset-related investments, including stakes in crypto platforms like Bitwise, Polymarket, DYDX. Okay, and this just gives you a little bit more insight on what he's into. All right. So this is your boy Kevin Warsh, the new Fed chair to replace Jerome Powell. As they say, out with the old and in with the new. Well, this is the new way that they're taking it into what? Cryptocurrency. Okay? So they're going to squash all that, kill all that inflation, those interest rates. Okay? Because why? With this CBDC, cryptocurrency, or whatever form of digital currency, they're going to be able to what? Control interest rates, inflation, and so on and so forth. Because why? You're going to have currency that expires to what? Help encourage you to spend money how they want it to be spent. Because if it doesn't, guess what? You lose it. Okay? This is what they're setting into place. All right? So let's hit that X. And these are some of the top stories. You can see crypto-friendly Kevin Warsh confirms a Fed chair to replace Jerome Powell 2 days ago. All right. This is where we heading at. All right. So we should be excited that, things are moving. All right. Things are moving. Okay. Just stay locked in. All right. So let's get a couple of precepts. All right. So here we are. We find ourselves in the book of Psalm, the 49th chapter and the 11th verse. All right. It reads, their inward thoughts is that their houses shall continue forever in their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. See? So this is the mindset that we're getting an in-depth analysis on Esau is that what? He thinks that his plan is going to somehow prevail. All right. See, he thinks that he's going to get this new world order up and running and that it's going to last from generation to generation. But that's not so. See, when he's getting ready to fill his belly, then the Lord's going to show up and make him vomit it all up. So he's only going to be able to get but so far. And that's going to be able to do what? Make the microchip mandatory, introduce it globally, and then have it to where either you have it and you can buy and sell, or you don't and you can't buy and sell. That's it. See? But see, this devil in his convoluted mind thinks that he's going to get it even further than that. So their thoughts is that what? Let's read it again. Psalm 49 and 11. It says, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever. See, they think they're going to have the next House Fed chairman after Kevin Warsh that's going to bring it. No, it ain't going to continue to go on like that. All right. We're coming to the end of this nightmare. Okay. This American nightmare, this Edomite nightmare. All right. They're not going to continue to put new Fed chairmen in. No, this is it. Lord willing. Abba Rathasa, Father will. All right. It says their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever. No, see, the Lord has set a bound that they can't exceed. So this is we're coming to the end of that bound, okay? The prophecies is speaking, and as it says, it shall not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it. See? You have to be spiritually inclined to understand and see what the Lord is doing. Okay? He's making moves on the behalf of who? The elect, the remnant. Those that have returned and repent. All right? He's making moves. Because why? He's getting ready to deliver them. Especially out of America, a.k.a. Babylon the Great. See? And you Jesus freaks that want to call on Jesus and any other name other than Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, you're going to be destroyed right along with them. All right? So it says their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever. Yeah, we're going to have Kevin Warsh. He's going to introduce the cryptocurrency. Then we're going to have John Starks, who's going to introduce. No, it ain't going to keep going on like that, man. The Lord has put a bound that they cannot go past, and he's getting ready to make them cash that check. He's getting ready to bring that receipt up. You know, y'all got a whole long line of evil, wickedness, and atrocities that you have done, and he's going to have all the receipts, and they're going to have to check, they're going to have to cash that check, man. So it says their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever and their dwelling places to all generations. See? Just imagine if the Lord wasn't merciful and he allowed us to be under this damn dictator, whatever you want to call it, type rulership, man. Where these motherfuckers put us in these type of restraints and watch what we eat, how we eat, tell us when to spend. Man, as it says, if those days weren't shortened, there would no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, that remnant, that small remnant, it says, but for the elect's sake. This is why we're seeing prophecy play out right before our very own eyes. Those that have ears to hear, eyes to see, and a heart to understand. We're seeing it. We're locked in. Okay? We could be doing anything else in this time of prophecy that's speaking. But we locked in, man. Okay? We're locked in. We're locked into the source, the power. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, man. There's no better place to be than locked in into prophecy. Okay? This is right where you want to be at. Locked in into prophecy. I may even somehow try to implement that into the title. Locked in into prophecy. Okay? Lock in into prophecy. Let me say it one more time to lock it in. Lock in into prophecy. Okay? Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own name. See? And that's the pride. That's the pride of this devil. As it says in Obadiah 1, Obadiah 1, if I'm not mistaken, that pride has exceeded. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the mountains, man. See, the Lord got this damn devil in a trick bag, man. Walking him along that line. Walking him right down prophecy. And he don't even know it, man. You got Trump over there trying to play peacemaker between America and China. That ain't gonna work, because we already know the least of the flock, the small hatters, the 1948ers ain't going for no ceasefire, no peace in the Middle East. That shit just for you lames, you mass that think that somehow the Strait of Hormuz is going to open up and shit's going to return back to normal. Gas prices are going to go down to $2.75, $1.50. That's for you that they putting on that show. But shit it's just heating up behind closed doors, man. See? And you can't get that type of insight and in-depth unless you locked in into prophecy. All right? So it says, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. How does that look in another translation? I quite wonder. The grave is their grave is their eternal home, where they will stay for. Nah, that don't really hit like the KJV. Look like the KJV probably gonna hit the hardest on this precept right here. Yeah, the KJV look like it's hitting the hardest. Yeah, we gonna stick with the KJV. We might read it one more time. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever and their dwelling places to all generations. This kingdom, this rulership is not meant to be eternal. See, that's the kingdom of what? Righteousness, ran by who? Yahushua, not Esau. His wicked ass kingdom is coming to an end. It says, in their dwelling places to all generations, they call their lands after their own names. See? So we here, okay? This dude, Kevin Warsh, soon as Jerome Powell resigns and he takes over, expect things to start to move even faster towards that. CBDC or cryptocurrency or Bitcoin or whatever he's pro crypto on. Okay? So be ready. Lock in. I forgot how I was going to say it. Lock in. Okay, I might have to go back and lock in. But nevertheless, just keep locked in. Okay? So that was pretty much it. You know, we'll go ahead and close out. We hit a couple of precepts, although we didn't look at it exactly. We stated it and quoted it, so that's good enough. So let's just go ahead and get over to 1 Peter 5 and 8. Lock it in. This is 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. It reads, be sober, be vigilant. See, you gotta lock in. Okay, you gotta be sober. You gotta be vigilant, man. You out here playing around, you know, taking things for granted. Meanwhile, this devil behind closed doors putting his people into position to think what he believes to have his houses to go on from generation to generation. But it's the Lord walking his ass down, man. But see, if you ain't sober and vigilant, you ain't locked in to know these things. So guess what? When he makes that move, as it says in Revelation 12 and 12, he knows he has but a short time. So he's going to do what? Come down in great wrath. A lot of you jakes out there that's playing games, you're going to get swept up in that flood. Isaiah 59 and verse 19, when the enemy should come in like a flood. See? A lot of you jake that's playing, y'all ass is going to get carried away in that flood, man. Because you can believe this devil is putting into place strategic pieces on the puzzle to have people, when they hit you with a curfew or lockdown, to keep your ass in certain cities, states, airports, cruises, so on and so forth, man. See, and you're going to be stuck and looking like a damn chicken with their head cut off, running around here looking, what am I doing? I can't get back home to my love. And then they're going to come out with that. They're going to come up, or they're going to come out with that solution. You need to get back on board to get home. Here, we got a chipping station in the back on site. See? So this is why we locked into prophecy, man. This is why it says, it tells us to do what? Be sober, be vigilant. See? Out here running around, hooting and hollering, chasing females, you know. You got to prioritize, man. That's why it says do what? Seek the kingdom of the Most High first. Not Teresa with a fat ass, man. You got to prioritize, man. Chasing some ass, that comes sucking, man. It's putting this word first and foremost above everything. And then you can't go wrong, man. See, but Jake, gotta get your mind, you gotta get your mind right, man. You gotta get locked in. Lock in to lock in. That might be it. Lock in to lock in. Because prophecy is speaking, man. So it says, be sober, be vigilant. Why? Because your adversary, the devil, you can bet he's doing his homework, man. He's seeing the prophets putting up videos day in and day out, night in and night out, going out on the highway and hedges, exposing him, telling who he is, and he's making moves, man. He's putting his pieces. He's putting his pieces on the puzzle. He's putting his pieces on the board right now. While you out there trying to get fresh to death to go chase a bitch, this man putting his pieces of the puzzle on the board. Or he's putting his pieces on the board, man. See, Jake, you gonna get taken out behind chasing some damn tail, man. When the Lord about to bring Isaiah 4:1 to pass, 7 women should take hold of one man. Not just any old regular man, a man of the Lord, the elect. You're going to have tail chasing you then, man. See? But you got to chase this word. That's what it comes down to, man. Is you chasing this word as bad as you trying to chase the tail of a piece of ass, man? Is you getting fresh to death for Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai? And for the most part, the answer is no. Jake ain't out here looking to chase this word like he is to chase them damn hoes, man. That ain't gonna do shit for him when all hell breaks loose. See? So it says, be sober, be vigilant. For where your heart is, there will your treasure be, man. Where your treasure at? Where your heart at? Is your heart into this word, this knowledge? Or is your heart into this damn world, chasing the money, chasing hoes, and whatever else come along with it? Because all that shit gonna fade away, man. This devil about to bring out the mark of the beast. So you thinking this shit a game. And it ain't. It's as real as me talking and you hearing it. This devil is getting ready to roll out this damn device, man. He's putting his pieces together. He's putting his pieces on the board. This damn dude, Kevin Warsh, is the most proactive crypto Federal Reserve chairman in the United States history, man. Why do you think that's the case? And they talking about inflation they finna raise the roof on inflation and interest, man. So when they come out with this damn device, this charagma, it ain't gonna leave you no choice but to take it. Cause you ain't gonna have no other answer. Gas prices about to continue to rise. Groceries about to continue to rise. Job numbers of laid off unemployment is gonna rise. So don't be surprised if the UBI, the Universal Basic Income, is rolled out within the next 4 years or quite sooner, as I believe. The CBDC is introduced to what? Set the stage to have the mark of the beast rolled out. And you still here looking around chasing ass, man. You better get right. It says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, he's doing his due diligence as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom? Those that ain't paying attention, measuring the time diligently, those that is just fucking around, looking for distractions, instead of locked in. It says, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. Lock in. To lock in. Get right. Okay? Because the shit's gonna hit the fan. And when it does, it's gonna be too late to try to lock in. Because you're gonna be running around here like a chicken with its neck cut off, man. Running all into shit. See? And that's when cooler heads are going to prevail. Those of us that are in this truth. As it says, wisdom and knowledge, according to this word, shall be the stability of thy time. See? Hey, and that's when you gonna know. It's no more better thing than to worship Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, man. Because guess what? He gonna take care of us, man. He gonna take care of us in our household too. Right? Lord willing, Abba Rathasar. Right? So let's read it one more time, then we'll close out. 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8 says what? Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. All right? So with that being said, pray someone was edified through this lesson. And until the next time, if it be the Lord's will, stay strong, stay in the faith. We're almost home. Shalom. Peace.